We've got some seeds and K-Booty on the next Live Free and Ham. Hello and welcome to Live Free and Ham podcast. This is our weekly show where we discuss ham radio topics in New Hampshire, New England, and beyond. We're thrilled to have you here. And so whether you're a regular listener or you're tuning in for the first time, thanks again for joining the show and being part of tonight's episode. So let's get into the show. I'm your host, Eric, callsign N1JUR, and I'm with my illustrious co-hosts.
Hey, it's Paul, N1OG, the Grouch.
And Todd, W1STJ.
And we got a special guest tonight.
Dave, KB5UTY.
All right, cool. Well, we're going to get more into Dave in a little bit. So buckle in and grab your favorite beverage and let's get into the usuals. So with that, as always, head on over to our storefront at livefreeandham.com/shop. You got a bunch of great stuff over there. We're adding a new couple of shirts. I'm just on the verge of finishing up and hopefully getting the Grouch's approval on his latest shirt there. That's coming soon. I've got a couple of good ideas that Todd's thrown my way from the 24-hour POTA. That'll be in the mix there too. So be on the lookout for those. As always, I forgot on the 24-hour POTA to actually hand out the stupid hammies. I had them in full force, and I could have been like, hey, come get your hammies. And I failed on that department. Yes, see, Dave's got his cami. He knows exactly how beneficial they are. Have you put any out? Have you proselytized and delivered any of those?
I've put 3 out so far.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah. Good. Cool. Any feedback? Are you a watcher or are you just kind of duck and run?
Where'd you get your hammy?
I can see which one that one's. It looks very familiar. Thank you, Paul, for delivering that ham in a very wonderful way. So, yes, you can get your hammies there. Come be part of such an awesome grassroots, fun activity. Heck, if you are a Jeeper, you know exactly, what those folks go through with their ducks. So we got our hammies. Head on over to gethammed.com to check out more of that. And as always, you can connect with our community, and our community is booming. It's on fire. We've been seeing a lot of people coming in, and there's been some awesome changes going on in our Discord, and we have been pretty impressed. I don't know about you guys, but there's been a lot of conversation, a lot of good stuff happening. So we say keep it coming, and if you want to come be a part of that, you can head over to our Discord, and the link is down at the bottom of the description there, and check that out and come be part of our Live Free and Ham community. It's got Grouch's stuff. It's got my stuff. It's got Tortoises in there, and we're just adding more and more as we kind of go on, as more people ask for more stuff. So with that, as always, we do a live stream every month. And yes, we're getting back into that cycle because I'm happy to announce, and by the time this airs, it'll probably already have passed. We will have our live stream for September, we'll say. It's going to be the 24-hour POTA camp out recap. So you don't want to miss that. We're going to be sharing some awesome photos and a bunch of other cool stuff, as well as kind of just doing a general summary from everybody there. And we're gonna have some special guests on, and they're all coming to hang out. It's gonna be a blast. So I want to make sure you are part of our channel and you like and subscribe, and you hit that notification bell so you can get notified when we do go live. And outside of that, the last thing, you can always reach us in a number of ways. That's always via email, SMS, and you can leave us a voicemail at our number at 978-233-1142. And all of those links are in our show notes as always. And so if you want to support our show, and we all love our supporters, especially the folks over on our Patreons, you can become a Patreon member and you'll get a ton of stuff. I mean, we are constantly adding to that. You get access to unfettered access. I like to say that. We have unfettered access to all of our show, videos in uncut format. You get to come be part of our private live stream here. I see Mike is in our current stream tonight. Good to see you again, Mike. And you can join for, as what Bob Koff always says, and Bob is our number one Patreon fan.
You can join for as little as $3 a month. It's not a big expense.
Nope, it is not. And Bob, when you're ready to record that enhanced version, let us know. We'll be ready on standby. So all good there. So with that, as we always like to do, we're going to dive into, because we've got some stuff for the mailbag there.
It's everyone's favorite segment.
No, it is not. Damn it, the order is all screwed up again. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Everybody, we got some news.
Slow down, Boog. Let me handle this. We've got some news. I've got bad news and bad news.
I have reviewed ship's personnel, Captain.
Congratulations, you've got mail.
Yeah, we do. And, whatever, I go back and I make these changes all the time. I modify things and it still goes back to the original format. So, yeah, I have not been drinking, I promise, at this point. So, yeah, with that, we've got some stuff, some feedback. Todd, we don't have anything on your end, do we?
Nothing.
All right. But I hear we have something in the WinLink bucket there, Mr. OG.
We do. We have 2 win links this week.
Okay.
So the first win link, and I went to change my camera view so that like you could actually see me looking as I'm looking at the screen. But yeah, apparently my color's very off. So the first win link, anyways, comes from Kilo Delta 9 Yankee Sierra Whiskey Chris Radio and Life, and he writes, "Hey all. It's been a crazy week. That is why this email is late. I'm still working 9 to 10 hour days and saving to go see a fellow ham with cancer. On the channel side of stuff, I need to get some content out. So hopefully this weekend I'll get to play radio for a couple days. Yes, I have 10 parks within 30 minutes of me. That is awesome. He says, you all know sometimes I hate being an adult. Don't we all?
Yep.
And wish we could do some playing. N2 MAK saw the video with the HT over Lake Ontario. So nice when ducting is there. Other than that, back to the salt mines.
Yep.
So thanks for that, Chris. And hopefully you're not too hot making all the awesome cast iron sinks and things that you're making. Our second win link comes from the one and only illustrious N2 MAK himself. And he writes, hello, Paul, Eric, and Todd. A big thank you to you and all the others who helped make the first Live Free and Ham 24-hour POTA campout such a huge success. It was great seeing everyone in person. Even with the weather, we still had a blast playing radio and hanging out.
Yep.
I always like to say that it's the people that make ham radio awesome, not the antennas or radios. Events that bring hams together are a tremendous value to the hobby and service. They build relationship, sharpen skills, and show that ham radio is fun. That F word that we all freaking love.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I really do appreciate all the effort that went into making this happen, from planning and prepping to the packing and cleaning up. Keep up the good work on the podcast, on YouTube, and on Discord. I'm looking forward to what's to come. 7-3, Mike, N2 MAK. P.S. This WinLink email was sent using a Reliance Antennas 56-1 bug-out end-fed half-wave for 30 meters on Work Band Wednesday. Leave no band behind.
As Matt from Reliance would say, I approve of this message. Man, Mike, if you ever run for another elected official position, please let it be for ARL president, and I'll vote for you. Awesome. Cool. All right.
I will cast my ballot and I will have a Utica club in honor of Mike.
Your official logo and poster tie-ins will have to be Utica's logo.
Radio and Utica club for everyone.
The working man's beer. All right. Well, we thank you once again for our lovely, illustrious WinLink, senders. As always, you guys have a near and dear heart to us in being in our Type A, what do we call that? I forgot what we call that group. It's been such a while that we've added a few, but they are in the illustrious group is known as the
overachievers.
Overachievers. Yes, thank you. That's exactly what they are. So yes, thank you both, Chris and Mike there as always for filling our WinLink mailboxes with wonderful messages. And, as always, you too can participate and be part of that. You can always use all of our notifications via SMS, email, our phone number for our voicemail. And if you're such an overachiever like Mike and Chris are, you can definitely send us a WinLink and we will make sure we read it on our next episode. And it can be about anything. So, let us know, if you got some issues you want to share with us, we're happy to kind of work through them. But just, if you want to say hello or, you wanted to send that WinLink Wednesday mail so you can get it in as a check mark in your book, then feel free to send it our way. All right.
Only send it to N1OG though.
Well, I've got, let's just say I've got a Moby link on the way. I somehow fell down a rabbit hole. I don't know how I did it, but I fell down a rabbit hole. And in that rabbit hole, I clicked the button to buy a Moby link. And so I will maybe be doing some more WinLink, I think, in the future, but we'll see. It's coming.
Nice. I've got a Moby link saved in my cart. Just waiting to pull the trigger on that one.
Yeah, actually, I think it was when I was doing a little poking around on Dave's website on the Seed Studios and a few other things. And I don't know how I got there, but somehow it showed up in my, usual YouTube, here, let me feed you from the algorithm, stance. And I was like, oh, wow, I got to go back to do this. So, yeah, anyway, I guess it's probably because I was purely pissed off with the whole implementations of, APRS in the Yazoo world that I wanted something that was, more useful. Yeah, wonderful, Mike. I would love to see that happen, dude. I want that recorded. With Mike, they are. I mean, I don't think I've heard one repeater yet. At least in the ones I knew had auto patches. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. You might have to spin one up yourself. All right. So with that, now we can get into.
It's everyone's favorite segment.
And now, a little something extra with Todd, W1STJ.
Still a general.
Because, as we always say, the URL it was unavailable for comment. So without any further delay, I'll hand it over to our VE Quizmaster, Paul N1OG. Take it away, sir.
All right, Todd. Question number 1 this evening comes from sub-element number 9. What type of radiation pattern is created by 2 quarter wavelength vertical antennas spaced a half wavelength apart and fed 180 degrees out of phase? Is it A, cardioid, B, a figure 8 broadside to the axis of the array, C, a figure 8 oriented along the axis of the array, or is it D, omnidirectional?
I'm going to go with B, Paul. My final answer.
Okay. And Eric?
Yeah, figure 8 sounds about right. Going from memory.
Go ahead, Dave. Take a pick.
That's what I was trying to look up, actually.
At least he's honest.
I'm going to go C.
All right. So Todd said B. And B is incorrect. So Dave said B, C.
Mm-hmm.
And C is the correct answer.
Emotional, damn it.
Sorry, too quick on the button there.
Yeah. So the correct answer is a figure eight oriented along the axis of the array. And for further clarification, this is one of those questions that just needs to be memorized. So quarter wavelength apart, fed 90 degrees out of phase, is a cardioid. Half wavelength apart, fed in phase, figure eight, is broadside. And a quarter wavelength apart, fed 180 degrees out of phase, a figure eight oriented along the axis of the array.
I should get half a point since I knew it was a figure eight.
Yeah, you just gotta memorize the correct answer.
I thought I did.
The only way I knew that is, and what I was looking up is the website for John in J4Z with the performance Z arrays. He set one up at Huntsville, and it's 2 quarter wavelength antennas. It's a vertical array. So I was like, all right, I was trying to look up the guy to remember his name. So sorry, but yeah.
All good, my friend. And, maybe we should start doing phone a friends, because you could have called maybe on Matt, if he was in the chat, Matt from Reliance Antenna, he might know that, or, Dave for all matters. All right. Well, just one.
Ooh.
Okay. So question number one is a strikeout. So question number two comes from sub-element number 6. What is the efficiency of a photovoltaic cell? Is it A, the open circuit voltage divided by the short circuit current under full illumination? B, the output in lumens divided by the input power in watts? C, the relative fraction of light that is converted to current? Or D, the output RF power divided by the input DC power?
Key is photovoltaic.
And I'll give you a hint. It is not D.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
If your solar array is putting out RF power, you got it.
I'm gonna go with C.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's either A or C, but I'm thinking C.
Yeah, I don't think it's an open circuit.
So the peanut gallery is in concurrence. The correct answer is C, and you are correct.
At least I'm not going 0 for 3.
Incredible.
So to give you an explanation of the answer, the best and correct answer is that the efficiency of a photovoltaic cell is the relative fraction of light that is converted to current. Efficiency is expressed as a ratio or percentage. It can range from 0 to 1 or 0% to 100%. It does not necessarily have a unit. You can eliminate the open circuit voltage divided by short circuit current option, because this gives you a number expressed in ohms, which is not unitless. You can eliminate RF power divided by input DC power, because the question doesn't ask about the efficiency of a transmitter or a radio. It asks about the efficiency of a photovoltaic cell, which doesn't involve RF at all, which is why I gave you that little hint.
Thank God it doesn't.
So another further hint is it's the only answer that has the word light in it. All right, Todd, you're 50%. So the third and final question of the evening: what type of polarization is supported by ground wave propagation? Is it A, circular, B, horizontal, C, elliptical, or D, vertical?
And go with horizontal. Or elliptical. I don't know.
Or vertical, or circular.
I'm going to say horizontal. My second guess is elliptical.
My head's about to explode.
I'm going vertical.
I'm going vertical.
All right. So Todd said horizontal, and horizontal is incorrect. And Dave and Eric said vertical, and vertical is correct. So to give you an explanation, ground waves are a result of an interaction with the radio signal and the ground. The interaction has the effect of causing the signal to follow the curvature of the Earth. Ground wave propagation is most useful from 1.8 megahertz to 3.5 megahertz during daytime. This only works with vertical waves. Horizontal waves will short circuit immediately since the whole electrical field tends to end up in the somewhat conductive ground. One way to remember this answer is to consider commercial AM broadcast. Ground wave propagation via vertical towers that polarize vertically. And this is also the answer to E3B08 with a single silly jingle. Ground waves are best when they send up and down. Increasing the frequency makes them hiccup. And I don't know what the song's supposed to be for that little ditty there, but
where like, okay, who bits plus atoms? What are you thinking? like, did you spend all night thinking of like this silly jingle to remember this one? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, God's sakes.
Well, clearly that little ditty helped him remember, and so he felt the need to share it with everybody else.
What I would love to see is when he took the frickin' test, did he even get that second question? Because if he didn't, that's just a whole waste of a jingle. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, so if you're on the journey of studying for your technician general extra class and coming up with some wonderful jingles, then in that case, hamstudy.org is an awesome resource for getting your ticket. And they're obviously looking for crowdsourced, feedback on questions too. So heck, with that, if you recently received maybe your upgrade or maybe you got your license for the first time, we want to know. So we can recognize you on the next episode for all that hard work and effort, because it is a lot for sure. Paul, anything from your end? Hear any latest news on anybody getting their tickets?
Well, actually, I was 5 minutes late for a VE session on Friday afternoon. It was a military session. I was completely not needed. I think there was like 20 VEs that were currently in the session, but that's okay. That's beside the point. So there were 4 soldiers that took the test, and all 4 soldiers passed their technician test. Awesome. So congratulations to the 4 Fort Campbell soldiers that are now brand new technicians.
Very cool. Very cool, guys. Nice job. Awesome. That deserves a round of applause if I can get the button going there. So awesome, guys, as always. And so, yeah, if you like we just did now, if you've gotten your ticket, just let us know. You can head over, send us an email, SMS at us, send us a carrier pigeon, or just pick us up on the radio and let us know. We'll be glad to share it next episode for sure. All right. So with that, we are going to dive into our usuals here. So we like to call this the Ham Radio Week catch up. And so because Dave is our illustrious guest, and he's put up with all this crap up to this point. How are you doing, buddy? How's your Ham Radio Week been?
I'm doing great. I'm starting to play with All-Star. So I got my clear node in.
Nice. Love that. Love it. Okay.
And a buddy of mine gave me a VX1.
Oof. Going old school.
Yeah. Old school. Half watt on battery, 1 watt with external power. Mm-hmm. But specifically so I can play with my All-Star node. So there it is.
There we go.
There it is.
Yeah. And yeah, I got this working today because he had it in a drawer tucked away. Didn't have a battery, didn't have a charger for it. So
VX3s, VX1s, they are the draw radios of life. I mean, I've seen more people go, yeah, I'll give you this for $4.
Yeah.
They're great
Dude,
radio.
that's such a cool little radio, though.
Yeah, dude, this is my Meshtastic node, and
I know, same size. and it is not much to it, man. Most of it's like, pretty much all menu based, but once you program it, you really just use it for what you want to use it, one thing. And that's really what it's built for.
Well, yeah. And I found out, of course, RT Systems is my friend, but it also uses the same cable as the VX6.
Oh, wow. Nice. Yeah. That's good for Yaesu for actually not changing, programming cables halfway through, 4 revisions or 3 revisions of radios.
But I mean, I keep getting mesmerized about how small it is. I mean, it's just tiny, and it works on my All-Star node. And I've only talked to 2 people on All-Star. I talked to Jason.
Okay. On his 2.0's node. Yep.
Yeah. And then there was a guy from England that was on 2.0's node.
He's very much hooked up to you. He's very good friends, and he's hooked up his entire. They have a different version of All-Star over there. I can't remember what it's called. I got in a long conversation. I can't remember his call sign. It's driving me bonkers. But yeah, they've got a huge network of DMR, All-Star, Fusion, all connected in, and then they're all backhauled to Jason. So yeah, you will hear a lot of over the pond stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah. So that's my ham radio update right now. Just loving the fact that I got my All-Star node, and man, Clear node makes it so easy.
See, Todd, I've been trying to convince Todd. Isn't it worth the $300 you're paying for it?
It
is well worth
$370, $385.
Yes, but they have an app.
Totally.
I know.
You never have to get into.
You can do it anywhere as long as you got internet.
I know nothing about Raspberry Pi.
Me too.
And you can get into it and do change connections. You can change settings.
Did you get the newest version?
Yes, I got the Pi 5 one.
The Pi 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was $20 more, and you sent me the 4, and I asked Bill, I go, so Eric wants me to get this, and I said, but I saw this one's a little bit newer. He goes, yeah, get the newer one.
Dude, that was a ploy on purpose because I knew you would be like, oh, I'm just going to buy the newer one anyway. Because I'm like, dude, if he gets a new one, then he'll be fine. But, I'm going to throw the generation before that and see what he does.
Well, yeah, you sign up for All-Star and you get your node number and then you buy it. And so after you buy it, they send you an email with, they'll ask you for everything that you could possibly have. Like I don't have an Echo Link and I don't have any of the other stuff, but this whole list of information, and you fill out all that list. They even had my Wi-Fi pre-programmed into it, so I plugged it in, and it worked.
Yep.
Oh wow!
Yep.
So you go to All-Star first.
Yes, go to All-Star first. You got to get a node, and then buy it because they'll ask you for your node number and your password. But yeah, they'll set it up completely for you. They test it out, make sure it works, and then ship it off. You plug it in, and they'll assign a frequency, 433.5, I think is what mine's on. Mm-hmm. And so you program a radio with the frequency and the PL tone, and you just work. And then connecting to different nodes is super simple on the app. You don't have to play with the Pi, nothing. That's why I went that route is I kept looking and looking and looking, and I did not want to have to learn how to operate and work on a Raspberry Pi so that I could talk to people over the internet. And they make it super simple.
But Grouch can do the install with his eyes closed and hands tied behind his back.
With Linux, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Apple works with Linux.
It does. But you're in terms of what you'd want to do, you just use the terminal and on the Apple interface and be able access the device. But yeah, I've got 2 of them. I've got one in my truck, which I love, and that's fully like on all the time, battery backup, and then it's got a Westgate, Epic Power Gate, switching between power and battery when driving and stuff like that. I love it. It's way funner to be on that than half the time I'm, dialing around all the repeaters locally, trying to put my call out there and no one comes back. So,
And that was my thing is I travel a lot throughout Texas with my job, and every town I come into, I call out on 5.2 and never get an answer, never get an answer. At least with this guy, I plan on, I've got the power adapter, throw it in the truck. My truck has Wi-Fi in it. So could have connected over to the Wi-Fi in my truck, and then I can talk to people all day long on this little guy.
Yeah.
And be good to go.
You can bring that node in any car and use that HT.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody can use it as long as they have the PO.
Yeah.
You have to have what? Like your
Internet.
phone,
Internet.
like your phone internet.
Well,
You
yeah.
can tether-
I haven't tried to tether it to my phone. I mean, I have a 2004 Silverado 2500, and it's got way more bells and whistles than I could ever care to learn. But one of the cool things is it has Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And the other cool part about the ClearNode is if you want to switch Wi-Fi, like say I put it in my truck, it has Wi-Fi by light on the Pi 5 version.
Which takes a little bit of time to do. You have to do it in a freaking dark room. Otherwise,
Yes, you're in a dark space. But it uses the flashlight on your phone to send the information for your SSID and your password for the Wi-Fi, and then it'll reboot and it'll connect.
But you do know that if you go into, once you've got it connected to Wi-Fi, whatever that is, you can go in and add other future networks. And then every time it reboots, it will go through that list.
I did not know that. I'll have to figure that out.
So
Okay.
that's super helpful, especially if you got like multiple hotspots or you got your home Wi-Fi and your, truck Wi-Fi.
Don't you have a separate hotspot in your truck? I mean,
I do.
that you get like from Verizon or whatever.
Yeah, I installed a full hotspot in the back, 5G hotspot in the back that powers off of a distribution block, and then it's got a step down buck converter, so it goes to 5 volts for USB-C, and then the same thing goes for the Pi. I got a buck converter for that, and I power that off of a 50 amp hour battery in the truck. And
So why don't you just use your phone?
Why would I need to?
Well, you bought an extra Wi-Fi thing, right?
I bought an extra hotspot for, a job I did for a customer once. And then I was like, it's on my plan now. I'll just keep it. And so it just sits in the truck all the time. So my truck is basically like Dave's. It's got full-time Wi-Fi, all the time, as long as the hotspot's up. But yeah, I love the app. I love being able to switch stuff on the fly and, being able to do, all of the tweaks. You're probably going to want to make one change to your hotspot is get rid of the beep, the Roger beep, because that'll annoy you to death after a while, and basically mute your CWID because nobody really wants to hear it on the other end.
Does it broadcast it across?
There is a setting in it that you got to make sure you don't have on to broadcast that stuff across, but I think by default the ClearNode has it disabled.
Okay.
So just make
The
sure.
other thing I liked about the ClearNode is the disconnect before connect. Because that's one of the things I caught on Freddie Mac's, one of his streams, just kind of a little side conversation was guys that will connect to a node and then connect to another node and connect to another node and never disconnect from the other nodes.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you've got all these guys.
Loops.
Yeah. And I made sure to click the disconnect before reconnect or before connect so that if I steer myself somewhere, it doesn't bring everybody else along for the ride.
Yeah, what I do is I installed on the Pi was it Almon? Yeah, is it Almon? Yeah, I think it's called Almon. I always forget what it's called. Supermon.
Supermon.
And Supermon, basically, I went in. It allows you to edit the config files in the browser, as long as you flip the bit switch on the Pi side, so you can edit those files. And I created a list of nodes that I wanted to cycle through. And so anytime that Pi comes up, it always connects to HR2Os first. And if that fails, then it goes to, another couple other nodes that I, check into. But yeah, I make sure I don't connect to nodes that have broader, bigger networks because they'll kick you off fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it, is it America Link? No. What's the East Coast Reflector? They do not tolerate anybody who connects multiple nodes. And if you're found connecting into another East Coast Reflector on another end and on the other side, they will, send you a nice long stern letter and then kick you off. And if you do it again, they'll blacklist you. So just beware. Yeah. But that's understandable. Their networks are freaking huge.
So
yeah. Cool. Yeah.
That's
well,
fun.
Dude, that's awesome. Welcome to All Star, and I am always listening to HR2. I actually got it on in the background, so feel free to throw your call out there.
Does he have a lot of people on it?
Yeah, I think the last time I looked at his node, what was the bubble chart on him?
There's a lot connected. I've been listening all day, and I haven't really heard anybody. But
no, it's you got to be the one to create noise. And mine's turned down because I could probably turn it up. You'd probably hear yourself. But
the only thing is I just screwed it up. Okay.
Do you have a mobile in the car?
Yes, I do.
Well, then just program like I do. Program a frequency on your mobile for your hotspot, and then you can leave the HT home.
I can do that.
And then that way you don't have to carry a second radio with you.
Yeah.
Nice and easy.
It's so cute.
It is, but you can do it when like you're out in the field, and you can hug it and love it and call whatever you want.
I'm starting to think like I could use that in my office.
You could. Totally. You'd stay connected all the time. That's why I want to get All-Star on our repeaters.
I know. That would be awesome.
Because it's like, I could be able to reach it from Maine when I'm on vacation or anywhere. Or Paul could, Paul's already connected now, thank God, finally. I'm very happy for him. And, he definitely comes back and answers. He finally set up his Pi. He's finally got All-Star.
Oh, yeah, but not to the repeater.
No, but he's connected to HR2O's node, which basically I'm connected to and Dave's connected to. So
you each have your own node, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
So like I could be connected to Paul's node and then call out to Paul, and if he's on that node, he'll hear me.
And one JUR listening on HR2O. Yep. That come through? Probably.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
The thing about this is freaking Jesus.
Squelch? No,
this guy right here. If you start to I went to turn it up, I thought. And it changed frequencies.
Yep.
And
a multi-knob.
Yeah. So
they never fixed that either with the FT65 too. So yeah, depending on what you have it set for factory, you screw yourself over.
There we go.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, welcome to the All-Star family. And just make a lot of noise. That's all I encourage folks to do because most people don't. And, they always do I don't want to clog up the repeater. I'm like, dude, why aren't you talking? This is the problem. And don't get me on my soapbox. Anyway. Awesome. All right. Well, cool. Good on that one. And so over to our Grouch there. How has your ham radio week been, man?
Well, ham radio week. So I've got a couple pies kicking around, and so initially I tried to use this one, which is it's a Pi 3B with an MMDVM hat on it, and I was getting frustrated with WPSD, and I was trying to get Fusion to DMR crossover going, and it wasn't working right. It was frustrating me and pissed me off. So I started looking into All-Star. And thanks to Freddie Mac for being super available on Discord. I sent him a message and I was like, dude, I don't understand. Like, I'm banging my head against the wall. Like, I got ChatGPT going and I'm trying to get the MMDVM hat to work with All-Star. And he goes, oh no. He's like, it won't work. It just won't work. The MMDVM is expecting a digital mode, and so you have to get a dongle. And so he sent me a link for one. It was $100, and so I started trying to find something a little bit cheaper, and so I did. I found this little thing here, the All-Star link.
Very cool.
And it's USB. It was $54 on Amazon, and so I took my other old Pi 3B, and I put the SD card in that, and I banged my head against the wall for a few days, trying to figure out why it wasn't working. Programming All-Star over and over and over into this freaking Raspberry Pi. I got really good at programming the Raspberry Pi. But after the sixth time, reflashing the whole thing and starting from scratch all over again, I got it to work.
Hallelujah. Of course I turned you down.
So, yes.
It had nothing to do with your skill set either, my friend. Damn Elon.
Yeah, so apparently, whatever Starlink just doesn't allow the port to work or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, so I ended up flipping it to the phone hotspot, which ultimately, that's the end goal, right? Is I want to be able to take the Raspberry Pi, throw it in the truck, plug it into the USB fucking outlet, and have the ability to use All-Star while I'm on the road. And so yeah, I finally got that working. Tuesday, Wednesday, I think it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, super excited to be All-Star now.
So what was up with the Starlink? Because my ClearNode, I have Starlink at the house, and I just got, while they were doing the $175 kit deal, got one for my camper.
Mm-hmm.
Was it with that device? Because my ClearNode's working just fine.
So depending on what you have set up, if you've got Starlink uses what they call carrier grade NAT, which is basically a technology or protocol that basically spoofs your IP address with what the real IP address is out in the internet and that type of stuff. Your ClearNode is going to be able to flip itself between IAX and HTTP requests. So if you were an HTTP on your ClearNode, you probably wouldn't work with the All-Star, because IAX is allows the protocol to pass through seamlessly and doesn't require any like public IP addressing. It does a lot of masquerading and some weird technical jargon I won't get into. But the only way I found, or at least stuff I did research when Grouch was telling me he was running into problems, was I found that you had to turn on UPnP on your router for the Starlink, and that sometimes fixes it and allows the HTTPS to work. But because you have a ClearNode, it uses IAX out of the box, so you'll never have a problem with it going through. It's when you turn to HTTPS, it gives you an issue.
Gotcha.
So, but. Yeah, there are some workarounds. I haven't heard many people, had major success, and that's why they just go to like their own hotspot or use, T-Mobile or whatever. So
yeah, ultimately, at some point, I am going to figure out the Starlink aspect of things, because what I would like to be able to do is, when I'm stationary, bring the All-Star node into the RV, connect it up to the Starlink, and then still be able to use it. And then, obviously when I'm mobile, the Starlink's not up and running, so it'll just be off my phone's hotspot.
Yep.
But it's apparently it's a ham radio week of All-Star.
Yes, if they ever need QA testers on their installers, and you are the man when it comes to going through all of those routines. I would have gone nuts after doing it the 8th time. I think my limit's 3.
Well, I'm a budget friendly ham, right? So when it comes to doing things on a budget, I will always try and use what I've got and figure out a way to make it work with whatever it is that I'm trying to do. And so that's what I did. Is I just, originally this Raspberry Pi used to live behind my TV, and it was dedicated to only my ham clock. So it doesn't have a hat on it or anything. But these days, I'm running the ham clock and my ham dashboard and all of those things off of my Pi 4, which is mounted underneath the TV here in the RV. So I had this 3B with no hat on it that was just sitting there, and I said, well, I've got to be able to use this. And so that's where I went down that rabbit hole of how do I make this work and how do I figure it out. And I did a whole lot of sudo apt upgrade and sudo apt update -y, because I forced myself to learn some Linux stuff.
Dude, that's all good stuff, man. Definitely a good skill set to have for sure when it comes to the Linux world. Especially when
the downside, though, right, is that because I'm a terrible YouTuber, I don't understand how to like screen record what I'm doing on the different screens and devices, because otherwise it would have made a fantastic video. Like, hey, this is how you avoid doing all the banging your head against the wall that I did.
That's one way. OBS does it, dude. Just screen record OBS.
I had to, because I have an iPhone 14, so I had to get from the iPhone to HDMI to the computer, but was able to,
The easy way to minimize those cables is to go. I can't pull the cable. Well, I can. I have a HDMI capture card, which is still in Paul's possession from 24-hour POTA. But I have one of those adapters for my Apple that goes, HDMI to, well, this one's FireWire or this one's Lightning, but I have one for USB-C.
Well,
that
mine's
works
Lightning,
great.
so that's why I had to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, get yourself a capture card, and you'll be able to go straight HDMI off a little Lightning card and be able to record your, phone straight from there. So.
Yeah, that's what that guy is a video capture.
Oh, well, there you go. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, I'm happy that you busted your head. You drank a lot of whiskey to get to where you were, and things turned out good because I was just like, oh man, I know it's always the biggest hill to climb once you get over Lennox, but you did, and you successfully conquered. My applause to you, my friend. Cool.
Yeah, and my first All-Star QSO was actually on the KC5HWB node.
Yeah,
right on.
Jason's got a good note. I mean, it was very busy when everyone was heading out to Huntsville. And so it was always good to talk to K Murder, everybody who was, on those travels but it's quieted down a bit now that there's nobody out there. So, I'm encouraging folks just to make noise. Awesome. All right. Well, with that, over to you, Todd. How is your Hammer Day week, my friend? You've been busy.
Yeah, it's actually, it's been real busy. Did 3 POTAs, including one today. So that's 4 in the last 3 weeks.
Where does that put you over numbers?
For the rail trail?
Yeah.
All right, so working on the rail trail. Eric's been up my ass to get caught up to him.
It's my fault.
Since I was way ahead.
I'm sorry. I believe you both were supposed to kilo the rail trail by
a year
March.
ago.
Yeah,
last year.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate the honesty.
So back on the 31st of August, I was up at Rachel Carson National Wild Refuge in Maine. Got 56. Then I went to the rail trail on the 10th, and I got 44. Then I went on the rail trail, on the 11th, I got 25, and then today I got 34, which puts me at 910.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought you were, I thought those numbers did not include what you did today. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
yeah. So I'm at 910. I'm going to get to I'm going to get to 975 and quit. And then we'll let Eric catch up to 975, and then we'll do the kilo.
That'll be a day, but whatever.
Listen, I have to do it during my lunch. The
bands will be in my favor, my friend.
I have to do it in the lunch break. Like the day you got 100, I was in California and I could barely make 10. And you're like, I don't know what's going on. I got 100 at the rail trail. I'm like, what the
I'm going to laugh my ass off if you guys get you get within 25 of your kilo and you decide to do your live stream and we get hit with an X5 freaking solar flare and the bands just go to shit and you do a 4-hour live stream to get 25 contacts.
Dude, I will call 25 people.
I know. We're going to be butt to nut the whole entire time, man. That'll be the fastest. Here, that's going to be random people. Make up a call sign.
Call me. All right. And then to top that off, today, as I was driving to the rail trail through Hollis, I just scanned my, just the local repeaters, when I don't feel like listening to just one so I scanned in and I got someone on Simplex in Hollis. So we talked on the way to the rail trail and he's like, he goes, I'm so glad you're on here. I don't think anyone listens to this anymore. And I said, yeah,
nobody does.
I said, I think more people should. So
I listen to Simplex all the time.
I know.
I'd rather listen to my APRS beacon than listen to 5.2. Much.
But, hey, it was cool to have a Simplex QSO going on for a few minutes. So, So anyway, so it's been good, and I'll tell you, I have missed activating POTA. I really have. It was needed, and now I'm just looking. I'm trying to work my schedule around. Okay, when can I get out of here to get to POTA and say it's my lunch and not get caught? And And of course, like I'm doing the POTA, and all of a sudden, like my work phone starts blowing up, and I'm not answering. I'm like, fuck it, I'm on lunch. Then I forget to call them back with my ADHD, and they're like, I called you yesterday and you never called. I'm like, oh, I must have been at lunch or something.
Sorry, I missed your call. Really busy day.
Yeah, but I did have a couple. Every day I've been out there, people have been coming by to ask what I'm doing, and one guy was actually, he does something with security systems or something with like kind of Meshtastic, because I asked him, I said, do you know about Meshtastic? And he said, because it's kind of like that. So I gave him all our information, told him about the club, told him about the podcast, and hopefully he will check us out and get into ham radio.
Sweet.
Nice. I think he's ex-military, you said. So.
Nice. Very cool.
All right. So, Eric, since you haven't been working the rail trail, what else have you been doing?
I've been doing many other things. I have to say I wrestled a bear Thursday and Friday with Matt's inflated antenna. That thing is a work in progress, we'll say. It's the best way to describe that thing.
Dude, I didn't even get to see it.
Yeah, and he gave it to the kid that's not even a ham.
Oh, did he?
You know when he threw it out?
Yeah.
The kid's not even a ham.
Oh, he gave it to Adam?
I guess I don't know what his name was.
Or no, the younger kid that we had at the 24-hour POTA.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
He wasn't even a ham. I'm like, dude.
It's a good idea. Put it this way: if you've ever thought about maybe inflating a balloon, or maybe an aluminum balloon, like say the Hindenburg, and then decided to tuning that thing up, that's kind of what the inflated antenna is. The problem is that you need a sheer volume of really good pressure air in the tube to keep it solidly straight. The lightest breeze is literally going to blow the damn thing over.
Can you do that again? Solid.
Erecting that big, hard, stiff black mast.
Yes. So I'm in the middle of setting this thing up, and I'm calling Matt, I'm texting Matt back and forth, and I'm like, dude, the damn thing will not stay up. I wish I could pull up my pictures on my camera roll, because literally you put the collar up about 3/4 of the way, and the remaining part that's standing above the collar that's anchored for all your guy wires just kind of flops in the wind like this. So it's like a floppy penis, and it's just like it kind of just goes back and forth. And I'm like trying to tune this thing, and I'm like, forget it. I gave up, and I texted Matt. I'm like, Matt, you got to do something about this thing. It definitely needs to be improved. And so yeah, him and I talked back and forth. But yeah, I'm doing a review on that one. So I didn't get
Do you not have a 12-volt compressor in your truck?
Oh, I do, dude. I put 12 volt. I pumped a ton of air in the thing. It does not want to stay solidly. I mean, it inflated, but according to Matt, it's like, oh, you just need to be able to blow into it and it'll be fine. I'm like, Matt, I tried to blow into the damn thing, and whatever I was putting into it wasn't making any worthwhile. So I stuck my compressor into it, filled it up. It got solid, but then slightest breeze, man, right at that bending point where the collar was, just folded it in half. Yep. Bleep, 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 bleep. So yeah, working on that. All that said, Matt's got some improvements. I'm testing it for him, but some of the reports that he sent out to other people said it does really well on 160 once you tune it up right. So I don't know. We'll try it out and see how that goes.
I want to play with it.
Yeah, well, dude, I will more than happily send it your way. He didn't give you one?
Nope.
Oh, well, then you're more than welcome to have mine. At this point.
He gave it to the kid that doesn't do ham radio.
Yeah, well, hey, dude, we make slip-ups all the time. So I haven't done a POTA like you, Todd, in a while. So this Saturday, today was my usual brew and activate in the morning, and Shannon OHT came on, and that was fun to hang out with her and everybody in the chat, and I was like, oh well, my wife's like, oh, we should just go up to Mount Aggie, and so I'm like, all right, I'll bring my gear. She's like, okay, so I went up and we activated from Mount Aggie for about half an hour, 45 minutes, because we had left late in the day. And catch you later, Mike. Good to see you in there. And so, yeah, I made 25 contacts, and it's funny because I was using my vertical, and that question that popped up about, ground wave, I had literally 4 or 5 ground wave contacts in Saco, Maine, Algonquin, Maine, New Hampshire, Portsmouth, New Hampshire was another one. And, I was getting 5 9s with all those guys, but anybody who was in Florida was like a 5 2, 3 3, 4 4. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? So
I worked a guy today on 1 watt in Wisconsin and he was a 5.9. I was like, are you sure you're on 1 watt? Like, what kind of antenna are you using?
Hey, good one at that. Probably a wire. So, yeah, I got 25 contacts in 24 minutes and wrapped things up. So it was a good activation overall. Definitely going to hop back on the rail trail now that I know, you'll be clearing my number soon in the next couple of days or so. And we'll get closer to that final live stream that we've been talking about forever, just like Todd's Extra.
Yeah, well, so Eric, I saw you post in the Discord that you were on 20 meters activating, right? And so I was like, you know what? I need to have a freaking antenna up because I don't have an antenna up because I'm in the RV. So I grabbed the Reliance and I plugged it into the coax jack on the trailer, and I did my adapters. So it's 50 ohm to 75 ohm through the trailer and then out back to 50 ohm. Tuned it up, and then I looked and I realized that I was like an hour late.
Yeah, I've done that before too. Get out of the shack.
Like, all right, well, I've got the antenna up now.
How well does that work, Paul? Going to 50, 75 back to 50.
Mint.
Okay.
Yeah, it works mint. Yeah.
So I'm inheriting a trailer at the end of October.
Nice.
So my mom is hanging up the keys. She's 78 years old and has been traveling for like the last 7 years.
Wow.
With a bunch more ladies after my dad passed away. That was her thing, was I'm going to buy a camper. I'm going to go hang out with a bunch of old ladies all over the place. And so it's time for her to hang it up. It's a 21 Freedom Express, 25-foot
Oh,
camper.
dude, that's nice. Yeah.
Nice.
You get a half ton or a 3/4 ton to pull it.
I have a 3/4 ton diesel truck. So.
Dude, that thing won't care. Not to be like, is there something behind me?
But so yeah, I'm just now getting. So like Belton Hamfest is coming up at the end of the month, beginning of October, and my first shakeout of this camper is actually going to be boondocking in the parking lot of Belton Hamfest.
You'll learn a lot fast.
Yeah. So my generator came in today and got it warmed, burnt in or whatever.
Yep. Warmed up.
So
Broken in.
Listen, do yourself a favor. Boondock in your driveway for a couple days.
Okay.
Work out all the kinks. That way, when you get to Belton, you're not trying to figure everything out.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably going to do that. It's sitting over at my mom's house still, and she wants me to come over and hang out. So that one of the things, my Starlink comes in Monday. So yeah, I do plan on probably next weekend doing a shakedown, spending the weekend in the camper with my generator, not on a pole, and kind of see what happens.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, like I know Good Game's in that same boat now. He's been fooling around with the trailer. He was supposed to come up to the 24-hour quota, but apparently he ended up blowing out a tire and couldn't make it on the way up. So he had literally outfitted his camper already. He tore out the bunks like Grouch did, and got a nice little setup there. So you might want to ping him for Paul's probably a great resource because he outfitted his whole entire shack like it's nothing changed from his house to his trailer, but.
Literally, it's almost the identical setup to what I had in my house in the RV.
Sans.
The only thing I don't have is the big giant toolboxes and the amplifier. Yeah.
This the layout of it is not. It's not really somewhere to set up a permanent station. It's laid out. Front of the trailer is a queen size bed, and then it has the slide out, which is a couch, and then the kitchenette. And then it's got a dry bathroom, the fridge and stuff, and the pantry along the back. So, but it's just me. Yeah. So, I mean, I can set up a little table and play radio when I want to play radio.
I hear, the 6400s are really going, $1,500. You could put a 6400 in that trailer and, you could do right from your laptop on the couch and not have to, worry about radio and cables and just put something.
How much is 6400s going for?
I've seen them, on the use from, the refurb section going for $1,500 to $1,800.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, that's because everyone wants the Auroras.
I will tell you. So this is just something that I learned through the course of my experience with RV life. Had I known what I know now back in January, I would have left the bottom bunk, and I would have taken out the top, and I would have put a shelf for storage. But I would have left the bottom bunk as my place to sleep, and then I would have taken the bedroom, and I would have turned the bedroom into my shack studio.
Interesting. Well, a heck of a lot more space.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because the bedroom is the biggest space in the RV, right? And other than the tote and some other storage stuff that I've got in the bedroom, like I only use it for sleeping. So had I had the insight that I have now, I would have just slept on the bunk, because the bunk is essentially like a little bigger than a twin, which is fine for me and the dog. And then I would have had a much bigger studio area.
Yep.
Yep.
Not next to the, almost sitting on the toilet kind of thing, but yeah.
literally, like the wall behind me, the toilet is right there. Yeah.
So if he goes away and you don't hear cans crushing, you know where he is. We're going to institute the flushing sound some days, but we'll figure out how we get that WAV file later. Cool. All right. Good on that one. Awesome on the camper, Dave. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It is one of those on my bucket list that we're working on. For now, I'm a rental guy and seems to work out. But yeah, I always wanted to outfit camper and get that going and be able to get away for weekends for sure. It's a stressful life we all live. So,
Montano.
Yeah, it's coming, man. Trust me,
dude. That was the
impetus.
We went to Montesano, and I had an Airbnb right at the bottom of the mountain, but it was still a 15-minute drive right at the bottom of the mountain. And seeing everybody camping up there, when my mom, right after Huntsville, is when my mom was like, "Hey, I'm going to hang up the keys." And I'm like, "Can I have your trailer?" And she's
sure.
like, "Yeah, you can take the payments over." I'm like, "Hey, I'll take the payments over. That's fine." And
okay.
I was like, it immediately booked my spot for Montesano. So
nice.
the only thing that sucks is it was 2 days without a camper to get up there. So I live.
That's a 3-day trip.
That's a 3-day trip now.
Yeah.
Which is, I would love to come up to your 24-hour POTA, but then no.
That'd be
when it becomes this popular that you have to like book in advance, then you're gonna wish you did it before.
Yeah,
so
5 days there and 5 days back, and
yeah, figure out how to do the job remotely, and you'll be bonus, and you can do anywhere.
That's one of the things. The RV Radio Network is actually having their fall rally right here, just outside of San Antonio. Mm-hmm. So I'm taking the camper over to that as well, and I'll be working on the camper.
There's an RV Radio Network?
Yeah, the RV Radio Network.
What are they radio in RVs? Like ham radio or just
ham radio? It's ham radio. It's ham radio operators, and I talked to Jason about it because Jason does a lot of stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, it's a bunch of old guys with campers that are retired, so expect that." But yeah, there's the RV Radio Network. So I met them at Huntsville because they were there, and they were actually at Dayton. They were the ARRL Club of the Year. Were announced the ARRL Club of the Year. So they approached me at Huntsville and were like, "Hey, can you come do Meshtastic at our big rally?" And I'm like, "Sure, where's it at?" "Oh, in Cibolo, Texas. Do you know where that's at?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's like 45 minutes away."
Well, it's awesome that they're a huge network, but my God, get out of the 1980s with your fucking website. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's all hand coded. What is wrong with you? Oh boy. Oh, that must be painful as a web designer or webmaster. But anyway, sorry, sidetracked. Cool. All right. Well, that kind of dovetails into a good thing here. So, yeah, if you may not know who Dave is, Dave has kind of, let's say, set the scene in a mesh-tastic light. He's a ham radio operator. He's got a lot of accolades to his name, and he's come up with some really cool mesh-tastic devices, as well as, contributions and a bunch of stuff. But so to start us off, Dave, kind of just give us your origin story a little bit, how you got into ham radio, and then how kind of your business and mesh-tastic kind of all blended together and gave you what you got to today.
All right. Well, I started out with GMRS. A couple of guys around here were starting to play with GMRS, and I started playing with GMRS and learned very, very quickly that I wanted more. The channelization, the limitations, I wanted more. And I got my taste of more when the BTEC GMRS Pro came out, right? And the N7500 radio. Those were GMRS radios, but you were actually able to do location sharing and messaging on it, like APRS, just not APRS. And GMRS actually allows short messages and location sharing, right? So started playing with that, and what I didn't realize is I was learning how to use APRS. Got my ham ticket and was able to, on the N7500, able to check the box for APRS. And next thing you know, I had a digipeater in my pickup truck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Started out going really hardcore.
Yeah. And it's super simple with that device. It just needs an internet connection. So I got my ticket and started playing. I got into POTA immediately because I was traveling a lot, but I was a tech. And I got my ticket in January, February of 23. And so 10 meters was wide open, and it was great, right? Mm-hmm. So I was doing POTA activation after POTA activation, traveling around with a 10-meter dipole, and it was awesome. Wow. And then it got hot outside, and 10 meters died, and I couldn't do anything.
The music stopped.
Yeah, the music stopped. So immediately got my general ticket, and have been kind of playing ever since. Love POTA. My job over the last 3 years has enabled me to travel all over the state and do activations. It was actually kind of an escape because Texas is huge. And so I would have a 7-8 hour drive to the job site.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Dude, that's like driving halfway across New York.
Yeah, still in Texas.
Wow.
And what I started doing is I was like, okay, I'll find a park in between. And I'll drive, take a break, get out of the truck, play radio, then get back in the truck and head on. Mm-hmm. And so every time I would travel, I would pick a path one way to be able to hit a park, hit a path another way, hit a park, coming back, find parks that were in the area. So I've got a bunch of parks in West Texas because that's where a lot of our job sites were. So yeah, POTA is my thing when it comes to ham radio, which is why having an RV is going to be awesome because now I can go camp and POTA and
never go home.
Yeah. So yeah, I've had my ticket. I've had my general since June of 23, so a little over 2 years now. Mm-hmm. I don't do anything half-assed. So I jump with I've got an FTDX 10 in front of me, which I heard you guys bashing the FTDX 10.
I love my FTDX. I sold it to another ham because I wanted to give it, trust me. Grouch is the only one who's ICOM all the way. He'll go with that, his dead, bloody, cold hands. When ICOM!
Work the world.
Down in a fiery flame. Yeah, I know. Oh, so, yeah. Where'd you get that? Did Julie send that to you? Or is that the one Izzo gave you?
This is the too small shirt that Izzo gave me.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where that came from because he gave one to me, and I'm like, dude, this is not going to fit me. This could be like a half shirt. So he gave it to you. Got it.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a 9700. I have a ID52. I'm an equal opportunity guy.
Okay.
Kenwood's kind of depressing. I do have the D74. I bought it at a silent key sale. And I'm not impressed. It's a beautiful radio, but not really impressed. And the battery life.
Wow. Well, the battery life, definitely. I've heard that on the Kenwoods a lot. The battery life is just kind of shit. But
dude, you have to carry 3 batteries to get through a day.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not my radio then.
Horrible. So it's like I said, it's a beautiful radio and it does a lot of really neat stuff, but I like to carry a radio around with me, and I don't want to carry 4 batteries hoping I'll make it through the day.
Get 100 amp hour on a battery and a backpack. Get it from my HT. I'm good.
Well, and everybody's like, oh, well, get that, because there's a 5 amp hour battery pack that one of our fellow hams makes, a little 5 amp hour battery pack. But it takes a nice, sleek, slender, beautiful radio and makes it have this huge hump
like a
back.
big booty. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So I love all radios. I just happened to buy once, cry once. When I was trying to find my first HF radio, I tried to find what was the best I could afford, and the FTDX10 was the best that I could afford.
Yep. Now, you had originally said earlier you don't half-ass anything. Is that how your call sign came about?
Actually, my call sign is my father's call sign.
Oh, wow. Because everyone's like, oh, he's K Booty. I'm like, where did he get that nickname from?
No, it worked out, but it's unique. But
yes.
No, my first call sign was horrible. It was KI5ZKA.
Oh God!
Oh,
yeah.
It's not even Z. It's not even Zach. It's Zeke.
Zika.
Oh man.
And so I went on there, and sure enough, my dad was a ham. He was more of a ham for, what's the right word for it? Utility than anything else. We were volunteer firefighters. I was a volunteer firefighter for a long time. Got my dad into it, and it was cheaper to buy a ham radio and open it up than it was to buy at the time, back in the early 90s, than it was to buy a public safety radio. Public safety radio was, $800-900. Ham radio was $300-400, and you pull a little solder chip off of there, and it'll work on the public safety.
Yeah, wide bandit. Yep. Yeah.
Wide bandit, and you're good to go. So, when I found out my dad's call was still available, I snatched it up.
Oh, dude, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few friends sort of like that. For a while, I had a few mentors that I was like, when I was thinking about changing my call sign, but then I realized that their call signs were like Whiskey Alpha 1, Yankee, Quebec, and I'm like, no, sorry, I need something shorter. And so I was like, I'm just leaving it my call sign the way I have it, and I'll be good.
Which it kind of sucks, because I really like the fact that I have my dad's call sign, but I am going to start studying some one day for my extra, because I would like a little short call sign. But
not many out.
I would have to give up my dad's call sign, so I don't know if I really do that.
What, and Grouch is probably, I'm sure he's never going to change the OG again, because I know he busted hard to make that happen. I'm the same way. Once I got my no code tech call, and when no code technicians way back in '93 were out, they weren't getting N1 calls. Those were what novices got, which had 10 meter privileges. So when FCC assigned me one, like all the FCC examiners were like, you got to hold on to that call, because that's like you got novice privileges, and no one's going to be able to look you up, but you're going to be able to get on the 10 meter band. I'm like, that's illegal. I'm like, no code technician. They're like, but yeah, they'll never know, because only novices get this, call sign. And I'm just like, okay, fine. So I held on to it, and then, took a 20-year hiatus and got back in the hobby, and it's kind of stuck. It just sticks. It's weird.
But yeah, I have an 891 and an ATOS on the truck. I have a 510 in the truck. I have 12 different HF radios now. So I jump in with both feet and try and get into everything I possibly can.
So then you need a flex in the trailer. That's just the way it's got to go.
I thought about it. I really
did.
did.
Dude. You should. I
thought about it, because then with the remote head, I could actually.
You don't even need the remote head. You can
nice
nice laptop with a nice display, or you can figure out how to put a little PC on the TV inside the trailer and operate a wireless keyboard and mouse from there, and you'd be golden. That would be beautiful.
Ultimate is one of the guys in our club he's very wealthy. He designed the digital toaster back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Makes digital toast.
Well, it was the first device that you could actually use a computer to edit video with. He invented that.
Oh, that toaster. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, why? Like toast is that popular? They need something digital for it? It's an analog thing.
But he has a retired news band.
Oh, wow.
It's got a 40-inch curved screen with a flex, and then the telescoping top of it has step IR on the top of it. So have you met KI? You ever seen KI1P? What is it? Lost Nation Radio? He's got a TV van, and he's got the dual masts in the van itself, and he's got a full flex, a step IR. I mean, every band, everything under the sun, and like he's running a kilowatt in the thing. It's freaking phenomenal. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and an Ameritron amp. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude. So yeah, and the funny part is, like, I don't know if your friend got it the same way, but like the news vans, if you know somebody and know somebody, you can get them for like $1.
Oh, he actually jokes about the fact that he got drunk and played on eBay, and next thing you know, there was a news van in his driveway.
Oh boy! Wow. I'd love to hang out with him here. Let me go fool around with your screen. Let's go get drunk now. Oh, dude, that's cool. So you don't cut corners, which is awesome. No. It's good to hear, No. And so what's your POTA setup? Is you're primarily 891 from the truck, or you guys, what's your like field radio stuff?
Well, it was because I have the 891 set up to where I can take it out of the truck easily. It's in an armor lock cage with, I forget the tuner, but I've got a tuner on it. So it's sitting in the truck, and it's 3 plugs away from being on a bench.
Oh, wow.
So that was my POTA setup until I started playing with QRP stuff. I got a really good deal on a KX3 and started doing POTA. Yeah, like I said, I
Yep, KX3. Okay, see where your rabbit hole goes.
Yeah. So and started playing with QRP stuff, but no, right now it's the FTX1. I screwed up and won it. So
oh wow, sorry to hear that.
You screwed up and won it.
So Gigaparts, I don't know if you guys remember, Gigaparts took Jason's FTX1 that he did all of his videos with, because he was supposed to get an Optima and they didn't have an Optima, but they had a field. So at Dayton, they handed him the field to play with, and that's what he made all of his videos on. Yep. Well, then he gave it back to Gigaparts and he got his Optima. Well, they auctioned off that FTX1 with a Gigaparts backpack and the POTA 30 mast.
What?
Right? And
wow.
So you do the math and all of that. I think it ended up being about
like $2,000.
About $2,000 worth of stuff, right? And the auction was winding down, and I'm like, well, let's see where it's at. And it was at $1,590, right? And I'm like, I'll put in a bid for $1,600 because it's worth every bit of $1,600. And then nobody outbid me. So,
oh my gosh.
I'm like, oops, okay.
Wow. Yeah, I figured I'd figure that out.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now I'm playing with the FTX1, waiting very impatiently for the SPA1 amplifier for it so that it'll be 100 watts. And then that'll be my POTA rig.
So what's your take on it? You like it, hate it? Hate to like it?
It's a beautiful radio. I honestly, as much of a Yaesu fanboy as I am very annoyed with them because they've got this. If you look at all their monitor radios, they all have big knob, 4 little knobs, right? If you look at the 510, the 500, the FTDX10, the new FTX1, it's big knob, 4 little knobs. If you go to any one of those radio and turn those knobs, they all do different things on different radios. And they will not do the same thing as all of them do.
Stop smiling, Grouch. Stop. Enough. We know.
Because I have
Simpleton.
an 510 right here. I have my FTDX10 right here. My 510 is right there. The FTX1 is in its case in the closet. But I had them all sitting out, and I'm like, oh, look at this. They're all the same. Well, if I turn the knob on the 510, it does this. If I turn that same knob on the FTDX10, it does that. And it does something totally different on the FTX1. I mean, it is so hard to go from radio to radio to radio, even though they look identical.
Sure.
But beyond that, the FTX1 is an amazing little radio. Yeah. It really is. Wow, does it have ears? Not as good as my FTDX10, but pretty close.
Well, you take out the whole header drying side of it, which is what everyone loves, is going to be a challenge. I don't even know if they could even build that circuitry into that FX1 ever for that, but it'd be really cool to see if they could. But I don't know. It's funny because I don't really care that it has an awesome speaker. Like for me, I do not like my 891's loud enough that I turn it down a lot of times when I'm outside on a bench because I don't want to piss off everybody else who's around me when, I've got somebody off, frequency or whatever, or there's somebody comes in booming. But that radio is just way too loud for me just in general. But I don't know, I don't need APRS in it. I love the 2 meter 440 option, but yeah. And then putting Fusion there.
I'll never use the Fusion. I'll never use the APRS. I'll never use probably, I don't know, because it has 2 antenna ports, I may use the 2 meter part of it and have a 2 meter antenna and for field day or something maybe. But I was going for what's the next step up from the 891, and that's the FTX1 Optima, right? And the fact that it has a built-in tuner, which from what I understand, I haven't gotten to play with it yet because I don't have the back end of it yet, the SPA1, but it's supposed to be a pretty good tuner on it.
Curious to see your results. I don't know. Yeah. I'm waiting for the 1A to come out, maybe. then I'll make the move. But until then, all right, cool.
Or you could just go with the ICOM.
What, the Mark II?
No, the
705.
Yeah.
Yeah, but dude,
I want 100 watts.
All right.
Life's too short for QRP.
Yeah. So so when it came out, the biggest thing that they were looking for was for satellite work, because you can run.
It doesn't do it.
It's supposed to do it.
Not the 1F doesn't.
No, the 1F won't.
It doesn't have the 2. I thought that's what
it does. But I guess no, because I don't think you can use.
It's not set up like a VHF, UHF, like the 150 or whatever to be able to do,
You can have V
VFOs.
and U, but it's still using the same radio, right?
Yeah.
So it's not true dual receive if you're on it's dual receive if you're on HF and UHF or VHF, but it's not dual receive in UHF, VHF.
Yeah.
True dual receive anyways. So no, it won't do satellite.
What do you use for when you're doing satellite? What radio do you use?
9700.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd love to use the 9700. Oh my gosh, that's some cash for VHF, UHF stuff. But
I started off. So I had a TS2000, Kenwood TS2000, and originally I got the TS2000. My club has 2 meter sideband net that we're trying to get kicked up, and I didn't have a 2 meter sideband radio, so I found a good deal on a TS2000, and those older radios, when you get 3 or 4 guys with TS2000s trying to talk to each other, everybody's a little bit off frequency. Everybody sounds like Mickey Mouse, and everybody's tuning the dial trying to make everybody sound right. So you get this cyclical, everybody tuning the dial, and it just never works.
Right.
So after about 5 nets of us doing that, I'm like, what's the next best 100-watt single sideband 2 meter radio out there? And it was a 9700. So I bought it for that, and then figured out that it does satellites really, really well. And I bought, he was right next to us at Huntsville, the WA4MCM kit, satellite rotator.
The one that Kyle's done.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I got one of those. I put it together, and I'm working with Don, the designer of it. It's great for 5 watts. But not more than 5 watts. It's got a little RF problem. But he's got it fixed, and I'm supposed to be getting the new board. So it was something that he was actually happy I figured out. So, yeah. Talking back and forth with him, he was like, wow, this is something I really need to, this is a design flaw that we got to figure out. And so he's already got a revised board, and I should be getting it next week. Awesome. And that thing is awesome. Yeah. You hook it up, and it just starts. Yeah, you have to use software, obviously, and but PSR Rotator, all of them, it works with all the different softwares, and you just tell it, hey, I'm going to look at SO50, right? And when SO50 starts getting close, you hear a little beep, and then the antenna goes, and then it will track it all the way across. And then when it's done, it goes back home.
Yep.
Then you hit the next satellite, and it over here and follows it across, and then comes back home. And
does it do the Doppler shift frequency changes for you too?
The rotator itself is just a rotator, right? But
okay,
I bought the SAT box, right, to go with it, and the SAT box interfaces with the 9700 perfectly, where on the SAT box software, which is a web interface, I just type in what satellite I want to talk to. It changes everything on the radio and points the rotator in the right area to where I can just sit there from my camper with the antenna outside and work satellites.
Just short of you actually asking AI to make the contact for you, Dave, it really kind of takes all the fun out of it, really.
Mike was out there with the Yagi trying to move it. And
I've done the Arrow antenna and the HT. Yeah. And
what HT did you use?
It's a Ocean. Wuxon.
Notice though that
Woshan.
He's using an ICOM radio for the
it's a little
totally fine, dude. I know. I just find it like
8H. Because it's a 7-watt true dual receive HT.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was using for satellites. And I don't know how Robert does it, holding that big elk antenna and working satellites, but
well, dude, look at his forearms. I mean, his forearms tell you the story.
That antenna gets heavy quick, and you're trying to do 5 different things and track the satellite and
record
and talk to people, and
so
why not go the easiest route possible and let a computer do it for me?
Well, throw money at it if you can, I guess is what it boils down to.
I have a job. I have been very blessed over the last 3 years to make a very comfortable lifestyle where I can buy a lot of toys. So,
that's the way to go sometimes. If you
no shame in that.
Nope.
Like the 2 3D printers. And
we're going to get into that in a second because I was like, is that a P1S back there? Or is that P2S?
Well, 2 P1S.
Okay. Nice. With the full, carousels and to boot.
Each one of them has the regular AMS and an AMS2.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Nice. Well, so you've got a lot of stuff going on, obviously, with the ham radio side, but you're kind of making a scene a little bit with the whole Meshtastic stuff. So kind of dive into that a little bit. Tell us what dragged you, to building something like said device.
I didn't build it.
You didn't build it. Okay.
Okay. And this is the guy that made me so popular. So with the Ham Radio Club, I'm the vice president of the Medina County Amateur Radio Corporation, and we do a lot of MCOM and events, right? And when Meshtastic came out, we originally, me and a buddy, my buddy Patrick, who's kind of my business partner with the Seed Studio stuff, we started seeing these videos on Meshtastic about 2.5, 3 years ago, and we're like, hey, this could be something, right? So we wanted a range test. So I hand built, because that was back when you had to buy a development board, a battery, antenna. You had to build everything, right?
Everything, right. Yep.
We built a couple of solar nodes, put them up about 35 feet, and we live about 17 miles away from each other, and we're actually able to communicate back and forth on Meshtastic. And I'm like, hey, okay. So then we built another one and we put it up on the club's repeater tower. We built another one, put it up on one of our club members' towers. And next thing you know, we had a majority of the county covered with Meshtastic.
Wow.
Did a presentation at the club. And of course, ham radio clubs and ham radio guys, when you go to a meeting and show off a new toy, everybody's got to have one. Right. Mm-hmm. So, and when they're cheap, I mean, they're inexpensive devices.
Yeah.
So, everybody got them. And so then we're like, hey, how can we integrate this into our income, our layers of communication, right? Because you want to have as many possible layers as possible. And we were going through and everything had a compromise of some sort. If it had an antenna, then it was in a 3D printed box that was made out of PLA and would melt in the South Texas heat. Or you could buy a more expensive case, but it didn't hold a big enough battery to operate for a long time, and everything was just kind of a compromise, and nothing was reliable enough for us to actually be able to use it until this came out. And I got on the pre-order list for it. I was one of the first people to get one in the States, and it's waterproof. It's about 2 days worth of battery life. You can clip it on your belt or put it on a lanyard. It's got a temperature sensor. It's got an accelerometer and a light sensor that don't work with Meshtastic. But it's just, I'm like, dude, this is the thing. So
right.
I started putting it through its paces. Literally, in the middle of summer, it was 110 outside, left it on the dash of my truck and walked away. Came back about 8 hours later, and it still worked.
Wow.
The temperature sensor in it goes up to 150 degrees and stops.
Yep.
And
It's like, sorry, check it out.
That's its max temperature that it can read, and I know that now. But it didn't work. This is actually the same device.
Wow.
This is it. Didn't warp, didn't break, didn't crack open, didn't freak out. It was still running. And I'm like, all right, so we got something. So we bought some more, and we started trying to use Meshtastic at events, right? Because the GPS in these is very accurate, and it was another layer of communication. So first we started testing it out where we would have a couple of guys with them, and we'd watch them. There's a program called Mesh Sense made by Affirmatech, same guys who make N3FJP, right? Yep. And it's free. Well, that will give you everything that's going on in the Meshtastic world that the device that it's connected to. And lo and behold, I could have a PC with a map and be able to see where my guys were at in real time as they're walking down the street. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. So we bought a couple more, and then Seed Studios put out an email saying that they're building a hazardous response kit, and they want people to help design it. And so I was like, what the hell? Sent them an email, said, hey, I'm interested in your hazardous response kit. By the way, this is what we're doing with your Meshtastic devices. I got an email back saying that the CEO would like to meet me. And guy's name's Eric. And so next thing you know, I have a meeting with Eric, the CEO of Seed Studios, our county emergency management coordinator, and one of the guys from Texas Department of Emergency Management. And we sat down, we talked about what we were doing, and Eric had one of the HazCom kits and said, here, break it. Tell me what's wrong with it. Tell me how to make it work better.
Wow.
So we started playing with it, and once again, I need to spend less time playing with toys and more time learning about toys, because it uses Node-RED to interface LoRaWAN sensor networks with Meshtastic.
Oh, wow.
That's all Greek. And
the good news about Node-RED is that you can pretty much figure it out by, trial and error and reading other people's scripts. So that's not, it's not all coding. Yeah.
It's all kind of base built, right? But they didn't really give me any sensors that I could use in a real use case. I got like motion sensors and stuff like that. Nothing that I could really use because I need temperature, humidity, wind speed, stuff that we would use in an event or an incident. But we started using these devices more and more, and one of the reps came up and said, hey, we'd love to come see what you're doing and how you're doing it with Meshtastic. And they came out to a couple of events, and at the second event, she approached me and said, Dave, we would like you to be our ham radio guy for Meshtastic. We want you to help promote Meshtastic to the ham radio community. And I'm like, what's that mean? Is that a paycheck?
Do I get paid for it?
Is that a paycheck? What is that? And she's like, well, we will pay for you to go to Hamfests and give you stuff to give away, and then you can also be a point of sale for our devices. And I'm like, okay. So first one was Hamcation this year, and we went out there, and I had a little gift box of all the latest devices, and I was like, I already knew Mike because one of the projects was over in the Huntsville, Texas area that I was doing. So I was back and forth to Huntsville a lot and caught him at a POTA activation. And then him and I kind of kicked it off. And every time I'd go to Huntsville, I'd hang out. Mm-hmm. So he introduced me to the rest of the ham radio YouTube guys, right, at Hamcation. And sorry, there's pollen and stuff in the air right now.
Yeah, no problem.
And so that's when I got to tell everybody about like this device, and this is the indicator, and we have some other devices that really aren't that cool. But and so then Dayton came along, and they sent me out to Dayton, and we actually had a booth at Dayton. And I sold out of devices within about 4.5 hours on Friday at Dayton, and then had the rest of the ham show to tell people to go to Amazon because you can get them on Amazon. But got to hang out again with the ham radio community, and became the mesh dealer is kind of the moniker that everybody has given me is because at Huntsville up at Montesano, I was literally dealing mesh in the parking lot out of my truck.
Come on over here, dude. I got something great for you.
It was, and what's funny is somebody would come up and say, "Hey, I was told you're the guy with the mesh," and I'm like, "Yes, I'm the guy with the mesh. Come over to the truck." And then I would go over to the truck, and then I would walk back over to the pavilion, and somebody else would go, "Hey, man, you got some mesh?" And then I would walk back over to the truck and go back and forth, and it was kind of fun.
Like a game of telephone. Eventually, it gets the word, "You got any hashish, man? I'm ready for hashish."
Dude, and you were my Huntsville drug dealer.
The blessing and the curse of how great the ham radio YouTube community is everybody was just like, talk to Dave. Just go talk to Dave. Talk to Dave. And I've been on several live streams now and podcasts and everything else. But so, yeah, now I haven't gotten the official title, but I've been approved to be what's it called? It's a goofy name. I'm a Seed Studio Ranger. And their Ranger program is I am one of about 18 people worldwide that is on their little list of people that is ambassadors for Seed Studios in a specific field. And mine.
Do you get a beret?
No, but I actually get. I get a check. I get a check for doing stuff. So I actually get. Not only do I get a free ride to go to all the ham fests, but they actually can now issue me a check for my time.
I'll get you a beret.
All right. It's gonna be maroon though, because I was there. It's gonna be maroon. And now I get to promote some of their new stuff. This is the L1, which is their latest device. It's the first. Backtrack a little bit. All of these devices are LoRaWAN or IoT devices that happen to have a chipset that'll work with Meshtastic. There is nothing specifically designed for Meshtastic until Seed Studios came out with the L1. It is the first device that was actually specifically designed for Meshtastic that isn't like this is the T1000E. The A, B, C, and D are all purpose-specific, either LoRaWAN or IoT devices for tracking. The E is just it's got the Meshtastic firmware on it, and they have an e-ink display version of it. The L1 actually comes out in different flavors where you can buy the baseboard, and if I share my screen, I can go through a little bit of.
Yeah, go ahead. Down at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure it's not on something bad. Okay.
It won't matter. We'll edit it out. Blank it out. Whatever.
There we go.
Let's go add.
All right. So like this is the L1 with the e-ink display, right? And it's kind of backtracking a little bit to you have to build a case. They have the L1 Pro.
Yep.
Which it comes ready to go. It's got the case, the battery, everything. You just buy it, right? Those are $42 when they're available.
Yep.
But what I like to do is, because I do like to tinker a little bit, is you can buy the baseboard, which it comes with the antennas and everything else. But it also helps me highlight the board itself. Here we go. So it has the board itself, the baseboard. It has an OLED display port. It has an e-ink display port. It has your battery. On the other side of that, it has a solar port because it actually has a built-in solar charge controller. And it has a Grove port for Grove sensors. It's the first device to actually have a joystick, which Meshtastic is now designing a version of their firmware to utilize the joystick.
Finally.
Yeah. So, it's got a lot of capabilities in a very discreet small package, and they're $34.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I'll stop sharing and put me back on.
Cool.
So, and this is the L1 with the OLED display, right? And so there's the joystick, and it has a new, let's see if I can.
Yeah, I probably won't grab the. Yeah,
there we go.
Barely. Okay.
It has a new menu system.
I got to play with that in Huntsville. That is a super freaking cool device.
But one of the cool things is if you go up or down, you can. All right, refocus. There we go. It has a little keyboard, and you can free text directly from the device.
That's crazy.
Now this is, I don't have the latest version, so the up and down don't work, right? But you'll be able to use the joystick to go up, down, left, right, and type out your message directly from the device. So it's getting back to a standalone device if you want it to be, or you can, of course, tie it to your phone and use it. So that's the latest.
I want one of those.
Yeah, I want one of those too.
And I got to make a shameless plug. This case was designed by Alley Cat Designs. Allie is a kind of a close friend of mine. She does wonderful, amazing cases, and she actually, I gave her the specs and everything, and had a case for this before they were released.
Wow!
I have actually helped her design the case and get the button right and everything else. Yeah, I got one of those.
Yeah, too. Yeah, Alley Cat.
Yeah, and I mean, like the G1, which this is the bad boy of the Meshtastic devices. This will actually do 3 watts.
It's a CB version of Meshtastic. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Now it takes USB-C PD, 60 watts, and it's not very portable. Doesn't have a battery or anything else, but it is the bad boy of the group. And I was like, hey, Allie, there's no cases for these, because this just comes with basically 2 PCB boards sandwiched together and free space in between. And I'm like, hey, they don't make it. Nobody makes a case for this. And so she made me a case and then published it on the internet. So got to put out a plug out for Allie. She's awesome. But yeah, so I get to play with Meshtastic, and I guess going back on that moniker where I don't do anything half-ass, jumped in from playing with it to now being a representative for it.
Because why not? It's the next logical step.
But the cool thing about it is I get to go to all the Hamfests for free. Travel, accommodations, everything paid for.
So what is the card one? What makes that one like? Besides that, it doesn't melt.
Well, it's waterproof, IP67 rated waterproof.
Okay.
It is the size of a credit card. If you stacked about 5 credit cards on top of each other, thickness wise, but size of a credit card. Extremely portable. Battery life is better than most devices out there. It has a really, really accurate GPS, temperature sensor, all in a cool little package. This is what if if somebody asks me and says, hey, I want to get into Meshtastic, what to get? And I tell them this, and not because I'm affiliated with them at all. I actually got affiliated with them because I like the device so much.
And how's the antenna? Is it internally, I'm assuming?
It's got an internal antenna. There's a little dipole.
Yep.
Right across the top right here. And it has got the same range as a device with a big antenna. I'm not sure how. I haven't actually cracked one of these open and tore it apart, but I don't know how they have that dipole working in there, but it works. It works really, really well. Even hanging off your belt loop right up against your body, it works really, really well. And so, yeah, no fuss, no muss. The only thing that everybody complains about is it's got the pogo pins on the back.
Yeah.
For a charger. But that's to maintain the waterproof on it. There is going to be and I don't know, it's got delayed. They were supposed to try and release it this year, but probably not now. A second version of this, a newer version of it that is Meshtastic specific. Like I said, this is repurposed IoT stuff. And it is supposed to have a USB-C to make everybody happy. So
if that thing was repurposed, what was the original intent for it?
Tracking. Asset tracking of some sort or another. Because it has Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, GPS. It was, I don't know, it track shipments, track packages, track animals, track whatever.
So if I put that on my dog.
Yes, if you go on Thingiverse or Printable.
I can track my dog. Now, what app does it use to track that?
The Meshtastic app. Same app as every other device.
But it's only good to, obviously the how big your network is from a saturated standpoint, stuff like that.
These devices get about a mile and a half range on their own.
Oh, well. Okay.
So yeah, if you want to figure out where your dog's at, there is on Printables, there's actually a case for it that'll strap directly to a dog collar. Because people have thought about that and it works. And for you, Paul, there is a Molly case for this where you could strap it to his
dude, he just needs a small little antenna one that it could stick up the top. It'd be like the robotic dog. That'd be cool.
Now, dude, Molly would be awesome because I could just put it right on his pouch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
You said the battery lasts like 5 days?
About 2 days.
Oh, 2 days.
And it really depends. It's a radio. It's a battery-powered radio. So depending on the amount of traffic, if it's a heavily congested area, then it's not going to last as long as it would if there's no traffic at all, right? Mine last about a day and a half, 2 days. And we have, at last count, there's 176 nodes in our area now. It was kind of cool when we were trying to play with Meshtastic over in Medina County, which is just west of Bexar County, which is San Antonio. We started building up this little network, and there was absolutely nothing in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people, and that's why I say when you build it, they will come. When I first bought a couple of Heltec V3s, the super cheapest $20 for a pair of two on Amazon, Meshtastic devices, I bought one and it just sat there because I couldn't talk to anybody. So then I bought two so I could talk to myself, right? Just to see it work. Mm-hmm. But if you have a device and you leave it on, as we were building up all these nodes in Medina County, and we had about 40 in Medina County, well, then a guy in San Antonio turned his on and there was people to talk to. So then he told all of his buddies. And so next thing you know, it went from just west of San Antonio to completely encompassing the northern half of San Antonio, where now on 6 hops, I can go 72 miles with Meshtastic.
Yeah.
Just hopping through.
A lot of the guys
they work at 14,000 feet.
Yes, they do.
Just say it, right? Not that you're mesh-tasticking at 14,000 feet, but whatever.
Absolutely. The nice thing about this is I can tether this to my belt and stick it in my front pocket, and I can jump out of a plane, and it'll track my altitude, my GPS location, my speed, everything. Like it is a phenomenal freaking device.
Oh, I agree from the tracking perspective. I was talking more about like you're texting me from 14,000 feet in Meshtastic.
Well, no, but I'll receive it anyways.
You would.
The phone's in my pocket
I have to wait. What is it? 5.5 minutes for you to get down to Earth so you can respond back?
Yeah, depending on how much time I'm under canopy. Yeah.
True. Right.
So, this is the Molly holster.
Oh yeah, that'll work great.
And it
lock and rock.
Right,
I like that.
Yeah, that's sweet.
You could probably get Ryan to print that for you, buddy. If you can get the thing, if you can get the printables
the
file,
STL,
the STL file, Ryan would print it.
I don't know if it's on printables or not yet. I'm part of Allie designed it,
Okay.
and I'm on her beta group and alpha group, and I can get you the files for it. So just remind me. And if you send me the stuff that I won during the POTA thing, maybe I'll send you one.
Oh, that would be me sending out the stuff. So if I'm the one delaying it, it's me, not Paul. I have finally like unburied myself from from finally getting everything dried out, and I'm like, okay, now I could start compiling videos. And then I'm like, oh, crap! I still have to deal with our log file problem with N3FJP. God, I hate that software. And two, yeah, all of that whole entire list of all of the stuff that Grouch did a smashing job with controlling and logging and all that stuff. I still got to get back to that and go on a shipping spree. So yeah, it's coming.
Or when you'll be coming to Texas soon, right, Paul?
He will.
Yeah, I'll be in Texas probably April.
Okay. Oh, I don't want to wait that long. All right, send me whatever address you get stuff. I'll send you one.
Okay. I should be at Hamcation too, because okay. I'll be down in Florida for that.
Well, I was thinking about sending you like next week, not waiting till next year.
Oh, even better. Yeah, I'm good.
I have printers.
I was gonna say, well, I said, you send him the STL files, you give it to Ryan. He's got a P1S that he prints everything for everything we send him. He's like, like 2 days later, we'll get a phone call. Hey, come pick up your print kind of thing. So, want to save yourself some shipping or, whatever. You figure that out.
And then we'll have to videotape Watson going through the woods with his own little Meshtastic device.
Yeah, I want to see that, man. That is a video I'm definitely wanting to see. So curious, how does the 1000 kind of stack? Like I've got a MuzzyWorks R1, like kind of similar, the R1's obviously pretty plain in terms of its functionality and not having most of the tracking capabilities, but have you had much hands-on with other things like the R1 and other?
Oh yeah, I have. I am an equal opportunity Meshtastic guy. I buy them all, even Helltech, and because when I started, I wasn't associated with Seed Studios. Seed Studios has got cool stuff, but I started on everybody else's equipment. So the MuzzyWorks it's a Helltech device on the inside.
Yeah,
MuzzyWorks is just a case builder. So it's a Helltech V3, which is a great little device. It is underutilized for what it can do. It's got a great ESP32 chip in it with a lot of GPIO headers on it that'll do a lot of neat things that nobody uses. So yeah, it's great. I'll get into a little bit of the technology of the devices. You have two basic types of devices. You have the ESP32 devices, and you have the NRF 5280 devices, right?
Yep.
ESP32 is very power hungry. NRF chips are not at all power hungry.
Yeah, power zippers.
This has an NRF chip in it. This has an NRF chip in it. The MuzzyWorks has an ESP32, which is... This is the exact same thing as your MuzzyWorks. It's an ESP, right? It's just It's the exact same thing, just in a different case.
Right.
So they're great. I mean, they've got great receivers. They got great transmitters in them. They all do about the same thing, right? They're all quarter watt to a half watt radios, maybe 3/4 of a watt on a good day with a good antenna. They all get about the same amount of range. There's the only thing, like I said, the only one that really stands out is the G3 or G2. Sorry, the G2. That's the only one that really stands out as anything better. But that was it. This is a radio, and everything else is, an ESP32 device. So yeah, they're all. I don't fault anybody for anything. They're all great as long as you're playing on Meshtastic. I don't care what you use. Just this, you can't beat it for the price and the package that you get, which is why I suggest it.
Here's a question. I'm getting, once again, trying to outfit my truck with, I've also got, my HF in there. I got VHF, UHF. I've got my All-Star set up in there. I've got the battery backups. I got a lot of the buck converters and stuff like that to be able to power like these lower power devices, or at least step them down. What would you recommend for something that you want full-time mobile? Like I obviously want to put an external antenna on the truck for it because I don't want something internal.
Right.
Is like the G2 the better way to go?
That's the way I would go. If I was going to build a vehicle-specific node, because of I carry this and this around with me all the time, right?
Yeah.
This I put in my phone mount on my truck. This is actually printed in PCTG, so it doesn't melt. And I just take a phone clip and just clip it in, and it sits right up on my dash, and it works great. The problem with putting an external antenna is you play the gain game, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have a high gain antenna to make up for the cable loss, because you've got, a half watt radio that's going to go through 10 feet of very small coax, and you're going to get a lot of loss on that itty bitty signal to begin with. So you play the gain game of trying to make it back up with a higher gain antenna.
Right.
The couple of people that I know that actually have external antennas are not picking up any more than I am with this sitting on the dash. Mm-hmm. So if you want a 900 megahertz antenna on your roof, go for it, and go with the G2 at that point, because this is putting out more power to make up for
that was kind of my thing, was the more power option, but the fact that where it's going to be stored and permanently mounted is going to be behind the back seats in the truck, and it's going to be out of like sight and mind. So the distance from where I would mount the high gain antenna to where it is less than 3.5 feet of coax total. So there is some loss there, but it's not like a 10-foot or 15-foot piece of coax that I'm running all the way.
Natively, it transmits 100 watts. You actually have to go in to the Meshtastic code. And tell it. Yeah, and tweak it a little bit.
To send 100 watts? Oh, okay.
Send the 3 watts that it'll send.
3 watts is nice.
And especially if you're talking about something with a better antenna, there's a lot of noise on the 900 megahertz spectrum. Mm-hmm. These guys have a hard time with noise. This actually has filtering, and if you want to build the super node, right, and especially in a truck, this is the way to go. The G2 is just amazing.
Now, would you use a G2 like on a mountaintop to mountaintop kind of scenario where there are permanent setups with solar, or no?
Yeah, it's hard to do, but mountaintop to mountaintop, I may have to share my screen again because we do have another really cool toy.
Well, we've got a couple of people in our club that, obviously are 1300 ASL on average, and, there's within the New Hampshire Mesh kind of crew, they've been expanding and trying to, pivot, a lot of these extra mountaintop kind of scenarios where, they're putting up permanent nodes and making a killing. Where the heck did it bring you in? There we go. Okay. There we go.
This is the route for that. It is our solar node. Okay. It is the second device ever made specifically for Meshtastic.
And that's complete?
That's complete. It's got a 5-watt solar panel. It holds 4 18650 batteries. I have one on the roof of my house that's been up there since Dayton, and it's never gotten below 95% battery life. It's got an NRF chip in it. It's got an L76K GPS in it. And you can buy an upgraded antenna for it, where you can put a 3, 8, or 3, 5, or 8 dB gain antenna on that mount with an.
What's the what's what I'm looking for? Oh, okay. I was looking for the environment settings, -40. Okay, because I'm thinking like there's 2 locations that a lot of these guys have been trying to put in like high nodes, and the biggest thing is like, okay, well, being up at 1300 ASL, winters are horrible up here, and especially with ice and water and freezing and stuff like that. So it's, just curious to see how far it would go down with the batteries.
Yeah. Trying to get it's all, here we go. So, I mean, it's got your USB port, weatherproof USB port, all of your LEDs, all your feature buttons and function buttons right there, all on the bottom end of it. So it'll never get wet anyways because it's protected by the solar panel. And it's a completely encased
full device panel and everything.
Yeah.
Has I've been out of the Meshtastic stuff for a little bit. Have they finally solved the remote firmware flash problem? Being able to remote without having to take these things down to flash them or upgrade them?
It depends on the device. Some of the NRF devices, like the rack devices, are supposed to be able to do over-the-air upgrades now. Mm-hmm. But it's still buggy, and you still have to use a separate piece of software to enter it into DFU mode. And it's not. They have not made it easy. It's still very difficult. But yeah, this guy. I mean, it comes with all stainless steel hardware, everything ready to go.
It's not a bad price. $90.
You can't build it cheaper.
Yeah, you can't.
No,
I've seen a lot of the videos, and I'm like, they're $150, $200 after you get all parts and building. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy for a solar node.
Yeah. So I mean, it's. And they have some in the California warehouse right now. Now, these are the ones without the GPS and the battery, which
you won't need. Yeah,
you don't. You need the batteries. You just don't need the GPS. Yeah. But it takes your standard button top 18650 batteries. So go to any vape shop, and you can get high quality 18650 batteries. Yeah. So, but yeah, that guy is what I would suggest for remote nodes.
Nice.
I've had mine. As a matter of fact, I really do need to update it because I haven't since Dayton, but I got it in Dayton. It was the first display. It was the first one in North America, and they're like, "Okay, go play with it and tell us what you think." And it's been running ever since, like a champ.
I've forgotten about it. It's up there.
Yeah, it just works. I have all of my nodes in the house on client mute and let the solar node take care of all the traffic, right? Mm-hmm. And it just sits there and works. Wow. So yeah, it and the price. I mean, shit, you can't beat it. I mean, $83 shipped plus shipping.
Yeah, especially in today's market, that's still pretty good.
And when people ask, because there is the P1 Pro that has the GPS and the battery in it, and they're like, "Well, why wouldn't I want the better one?" And I'm like, "It's not any better." Right. And it's an infrastructure node. You don't need a GPS in an infrastructure node. Somebody has to have GPS for timing so that everybody's clock's correct, right? But it doesn't have to be these guys because there's plenty of GPS devices out there. So yeah, get you some batteries and leave it without a GPS. That way it's not on the map. Right? Because if it's an infrastructure node and it's remotely mounted somewhere like Mountaintop, do you really want people to actually be able to know exactly where it's at?
No.
Yeah. So you want it to be able to just work in the background. And so, yeah, I tell them don't get the GPS.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's already in the cart. You're a bad influence, Dave. You're a bad influence.
And you can save. I sent you those codes.
Yes, I saw that too. We will post those in the Discord, not the Discord, in the description below. So if you have felt you need to go over to Seed Studios to purchase any of this stuff, which I highly advise because it's almost a steal. Yeah, it's well worth it. I put it this way: give me a second or two, I'll finish getting that G2.
But yeah, you get with the code, you get 10% off of the 80, so you'll save another $8.30.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'm trying to think of who is the man. His call sign is escaping me at the moment. I got to figure. I dive back into here. I got to figure out who his name is. Who's the guy who does all the mesh stuff in New Hampshire? He did our whole mesh class. Why am I forgetting his name? Anyway, I'll find it. Yeah, cool. All right, so you got some other stuff you said you wanted to dive into a little bit.
Oh, no, that was it. That was
cool.
the Solar Node, the L1. Those are our cool devices. And then, yeah, so I'm the mesh dealer. That's the name that I've been given.
Dude, I would almost want to put one of those the solar nodes, just mount it to the back rack on my truck.
Yeah,
dude, that would be awesome. Mobile,
just set it, and forget it, right? Like
now, one of the things, if you get it and you want to put a different antenna on it, something to do with licensing with the FCC. Stuff out of China now is coming with RP SMA connectors, which is reverse polarity, right? So it's not your standard SMA. It's the exact opposite. I mean, it's like what should be a female is now a male and vice versa.
Yep.
Now you can do what I did on mine, and I just bought on Amazon for, I think you get 12 of them for $8, is a waterproof SMA to IPEX, right? And just replaced the SMA on the device. Or you can find an RP SMA to N cable for it and then mount an N type antenna onto that bracket. And it's got the hole in it. It's got a hole for an SMA and a hole for an N, to where you can mount it directly to the bracket.
And
I've got a 8 dB
I had like 5 other projects that I was working on now. Now that they're all going to take back seat to getting back into
it. Project though, because you just set it and forget it. So
true, but now I'm already buying the G2. Now I've got to get another. The antennas that I was looking at, I've got to recalculate and do a few other things there, and then now I have to get this 1000 because I'm carrying around the rack on my keychain, and it's a little bulky. And I like the belt clip option, but I'm like I don't belt clip a lot of stuff, except my radios to my, belt when I'm carrying my radio around, but I don't carry a radio around all the time because I've got them everywhere I, need them.
On Amazon right now, they have, this is the actual official Seed Studio. It's actually a leather lanyard with a really cool.
I like that clip. Yeah. Strong metal clip.
Yeah, they're cheaper on your website.
They're cheaper on the website, but you have to buy them from China and pay for the tariff and the shipping.
So there you go. You probably pay the same you'd pay on Amazon and get it in 2 days.
So is your codes work for Amazon too?
Nope. It's just directly from Seed, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe a year ago that would have been perfect, but not now. That sucks.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Dude, that's awesome stuff. It definitely sounds like you're doing some really cool stuff, and it's good. Just good to it's very rare to find someone who can be in the hobby and then have his hobby as his job plus one kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've only run into most of those that are retired and they've got cash flow from that, or like Paul, I, and Todd, or mostly, and Paul's the other exception. I mean, he's he's running the RV life and doing all of that. But Todd and I are one day we'll retire kind of thing. But we still have friends like yourself who are buy once, cry once, and so we just follow the same suit, sadly.
So does that solar panel thing that comes with the mesh node in it?
Yep, it's built into it.
So you just buy that and mount it, and
Yep.
Buy that, some batteries, and put it up, and it works.
Oh, make sure
it's
flash.
the same thing. You have to do like any other device. You'll have to put it. You'll have to name it. You'll have to put the region into it.
Yeah,
you have to make
program it. Yeah,
the programming of it. But it's all built in there. And if you really,
and it all comes from China.
Yeah. Well, they're moving a lot of their inventory over to a California warehouse. Like right now.
There's one. Like I'm looking on the website. One says 633 and the other one is 643. The 43 is $69, warehouse available, USA.
Which device you're looking at?
The SenseCap Solar Node P1. Is that what you were looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was looking at the Pro. The Pro's only available in China.
Pros
Sorry,
and it's back ordered, so which means that they move. They're moving. When you see
that's not
one
the
on
Pro.
back order in China, that means that they've taken everything that they've got and put it on a container and are bringing it over to us.
Right.
Because they're doing containerized tariffs as opposed to individual tariffs. It saves money, and I don't play the tariff game, but they do. They know how. Which is why, like the P1 without the GPS and the battery, you now see is at the U.S. warehouse and import duties included, which is great because these things at one point, this was $98 and the P1 Pro was $105. So they've been playing the tariff game pretty well where they're able to bring the price back down because I told them originally, I was like, everything has to stay under $100. That is the sweet spot with ham radio people. Because if you go to a ham fest, you're looking for a $1,200 radio, right? So if somebody says, "Hey, I've got this really cool device for $83," it's chump change, all right? And a lot of those guys mind because they're thinking $1,200, $1,800 radio, and I can get this. I can get 3 of these for $160, $270. Hell yeah!
Yeah, exactly.
So
interesting. Yeah, you get so Seed does a lot of other stuff. I got only poked into home assistant stuff. I dabble in a lot, just obviously with kind of just mostly the home assistant side of stuff. But yeah, it's interesting to see some of their tie-ins. I haven't seen much of them in the home assistant market per se, but it's good to see that they're.
Seed Studios was Eric, the CEO / owner of the company. Was raised on a farm in China, right? And was able to get a higher education and started Seed Studios and wanted to bring technology back to the farm. So if you look at a lot of their IoT and stuff, there's a lot of agricultural based sensor networks that they build.
Right.
Meshtastic is this much of what they do. Because with everything that they've done, I mean, they have a contract to track elk in Yellowstone, right? So their equipment is being used to track animals in Yellowstone. But yeah, so it was originally designed to bring technology to the farm, and it's just blown up from there. And now they're in AI and a whole bunch of other neat stuff. But I actually asked them the other day, Seed Studios with 3 E's, right? Why?
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
So I got their official answer because I was like, hey, people are asking. And I'm like, why? And so the name Seed embodies the company's core purpose, which is providing makers and developers worldwide with the tools they need to bring their innovations to life. So helping innovators seed their electronic projects and help them grow. The additional E stands for electronics, highlighting their focus on electronic solutions that empower creative minds. So that's the background behind the Seed, is to help seed people's passions.
So basically, Seed Studio was taken then.
Yeah,
because Seed Studio.
I figured it had to be something with is in Triple E, like an electric engineering, whatever, right?
And that's what I thought at first too. Was it was focused towards.
And Seed Studio in the software gaming world is a very popular platform for gaming and that type of stuff. So that they're SEED. So that's probably the other reason when they got when creating the company. We got to add one more E. Like I've seen companies do it all the time. And then their mission tag statement's like, we're the fill in the whatever you need to make it work.
But I mean, they do Raspberry Pis. They sell Raspberry Pis. They sell
when Paul first started pointing me to you and all this stuff, I was like, what the hell are they getting into? I mean, my gosh, like I thought you were just Meshtastic only, but then I was like, when I went up there, I was like, holy crap, they get their toe in everything.
Yeah.
They got robotic arms. They've got freaking AI powered 4-mic array for clear.
Yeah, and I got to see that thing. It's pretty cool. So it's it's been done before by a lot of the larger companies. If you imagine a conference room microphone, right, for conference calls, where the microphone it's got multiple arrays and it'll figure out where the person's at.
Yeah.
Well, they created a much less expensive.
It's $50.
Yeah, AI powered version of the same thing. So it's a $50 microphone that is competing against a $1,500 microphone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm almost thinking of buying one of those and bringing it to work when it sucks and be like, here, plug this thing in, it'll work.
Like one of their things, the SenseCap Watcher is a really cool little AI device. It's like $60. And it's this little round thing with a camera on it, right? And you can tell it, you talk to it, right? And you turn it on and it says, hey, how can I assist you today? And you can tell it to, I want to know when Joe Blow is walking down the hallway and turns left into the second office, right? And it will use AI to figure out when Joe Blow is walking down the office and goes into the second door instead of the third or the first door. You can tell it that I only want to be alerted when blonde dogs walk down the street, right? And it will watch, and then it'll let you know when there's a blonde dog walking down the street. And it's $60.
What is it called?
It's the SenseCap Watcher.
Yep. Dude, their Raspberry Pi devices are freaking awesome. Their IoT devices being able to have I/O and dry contact capabilities all built into. Oh my,
dude! Look at this.
How much do clothes cost in the Matrix?
We don't wear clothes in the Matrix, my friend. What are you talking about?
I mean, look at this. A Vision AI camera, $24.90.
Yep.
Shit.
Dude, they're eating stuff.
You can go down a very, very deep rabbit hole with these guys. And
dude, they got Beagle boards? I didn't know that.
Low cost AI arm 3D printed skeleton.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Dude. Yeah, this is dangerous. I got to close this now.
Just keep adding to your cart, Eric.
That is exactly what I'm stopping at the moment, my friend. I've got to stay focused on one thing. Otherwise, I'm like, I get these like non-Amazon boxes showing up the door. My wife's like, "What did you buy?"
No, see what it is, right?
When FedEx shows up.
We need the Live Free and Ham podcast to be the first podcast sponsored by Seed Studios.
Yeah.
I am working on stuff like that. That's one of the things that I'm working on right now is trying to get them. Right now they're just like, hey, go see what you can do. And
they sell a quadcopter. It's my other hobby, flying shit.
Yeah, well, it's a sensor based quadcopter.
Yeah.
Which there is, Eric. I do have a code that works. Holy crap! I have a lot more new codes. I have a $25 off the robot arm now.
There we go.
Yeah.
I was going to get robot legs, but robot arms, that works too.
Yeah.
So I have
the only thing when you say robot arms, the only thing that ever points me back to is the Sheldon, episode where what's his name decides to take his robot arm and teach it one specific technique. I could see Paul doing that with his.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they got a charging puck. Actually, that's pretty cool.
I can get you 5% off the home assistant stuff. 5% off the RE terminals. There's a mini cord synthesizer.
Oh, dude, send me codes, please. This is gonna be dangerous.
But yeah, it's a fixed amount, but it's $25 off the Star Robot arm.
Wow.
And it's a viola, violin, and cello violin promotion, so I guess it'll play the violin.
There we go.
That's awesome because I can't play the violin.
Yeah. I know, right? Well, you've heard it here, guys. If just to any of our listeners, if you've, there obviously the codes will be in the. Damn you! Get me a new camera too.
Yeah, if we have an AI camera for that.
Yeah, hopefully it'll do a hell of a lot better than this Ozbot's doing today. Come on, bring me back up. Let's go sometime today.
Water cooling kit. You probably need that in Texas.
Oh my gosh! There we go. Stay there. Yeah, so all the codes will be, that Dave's provided to us will be in the description below. So if you want to take advantage of some of this stuff over at the Seed Studios, please, use those codes to, get yourself some discounts there. But yeah, awesome stuff, man. This is crazy. If you're going to go down the rabbit hole, this is the place to do it.
And at the very least, get yourself a T1000.
Yeah, at the very least. At the very least. It'd be really cool if we could figure out how to print custom cases. We could do a live-free and ham case. Just saying,
I might know somebody.
I know.
She's really she's come out with some other new cases for the L1 line, and she teased me with them, and I got all excited. And she's like, "Well, they're on the list." I'm like, "Shit, okay."
But I got a printer myself. I can print too.
So, and I help her with some of them. Because she's got an older printer, and I have the 2P1s, and I have, PET GHF, PCTG. I can play with a lot of engineering filaments. So and they all print differently. So their tolerances are different. Like if you if you try and put a PETG back on a PCTG front of her devices, it doesn't fit because they shrink differently, the plastics. So she'll send me stuff every now and then to print out and test fit. But I just sent you a bunch more codes.
Cool.
It doesn't show the percents off, but they vary from, go back to that screen, anywhere from 5% to 10%, except for the robot arm is a $25 fixed amount discount. So.
Dude, this has been an education, but definitely, a lightening of the wallet. So
Eric's
we appreciate it.
Eric's mortgage isn't going to be paid this month.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, my friend. That is totally, it'll be a little short, we'll just say this time.
Now you see why they call me the mesh dealer.
Yeah, no kidding, man. I feel literally like I am selling my soul. I can't find my...
Dave's got the drugs, man.
Yeah, I got the mesh. Oh, yeah.
I can't find it. Nope, that one isn't it. That one is it. Oh my gosh, I can't find my little quick clip. I've been looking for it all night. Oh my gosh. Anyway,
we gotta merge mesh and skydiving.
Well, dude, so that the GPS on it's very, very accurate, and it does show altitude. So. You and Carlos have both taken them up in the air now. So
yeah, but if there's a way to download like the GPX data, that would be super helpful.
There is, but I got to figure that out. But remind me, send me a message on Discord, because when we get off of this, it's bedtime for me. So just remind me, and I'll figure out how. There is a way to pull the data out of the device. And so you can actually see the temperature, humidity, and GPS data of your jump.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I found it.
Sure. And I will pay it.
And now Eric's gone.
I see a mouse moving around.
Yep. That's all you do. OBS has been acting up today. Anyway.
Dude, that watcher thing is awesome.
It is.
I'm like thinking of like putting like my kids on house arrest and like hiding them in there. Let me know when freaking Jose leaves the house.
Sweet. All right. Well, let's kind of put a little bow on this since, we are getting close up to our 3-hour mark, and this is almost like a Ham Radio Workbench episode, but still way better.
Way better.
Way better. Any last kind of parting thoughts you want to throw at anybody, Dave? Anything new and up and coming that we should be aware of, or, obviously where you're going to be next?
Well, I'm going to be at the Belton Ham Fest and the RV Radio Network. I'm going to actually camp out with them and do a Mestastic presentation for them.
Nice.
And then from there, it's the big 3 next year. Take a little break. I have a YouTube channel, and it's 3 videos that are Mestastic related, and then you get to see what I was like about 14 years ago with mud trucks and us blowing stuff up with tannerite. So,
nice. What's your YouTube channel?
Good shit.
KB5 UTY Dave. Just look it up.
Blowing up shit.
Blowing up shit. Well, I've recently divorced, but the property I had a gravel pit in it, and so we would have, and I set up a range down there. And so for birthdays, or just, we used to call it Sunday Gun Day back when ammo was cheap. And
yes,
just come over, and somebody always brought tannerite, so we'd send something to the moon, at least one.
Awesome.
So when I'm in Texas, can we go shoot together?
We can. I just no longer have access to that property, but I have plenty of friends with a lot of property. So
perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect. Yeah.
Video coming soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Bring
We'll see how bad it is.
And radio related wise, I think I'm in a rental right now. Luckily, they let me put up a DX Commander in the backyard, so I do have HF, but it's got gutters that kind of split the house like this, and I have a 4-to-1 and a 9-to-1, so I'm going to try and tune the gutters, and I think I'll try and make a video on that.
That'd be cool.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
After you tune the gutters, why not do a butterfly around the whole roof?
It's a duplex, so I only really have access to half of the gutter.
The place.
But I
Wait
thought
till they go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what you doing? Nothing. I'm good.
Just don't mind the wire coming off your gutter.
It's cleaning the gutters. That's all I'm doing.
Dave ain't here, man. Dave ain't here.
Right.
Very
but
cool.
yeah, I just got to remember to videotape stuff when I do stuff. That's the hard part.
Takes a while, man. It takes a while. You get into the rhythm. Eventually, you just feel like, oh yeah, it's like leaving your arm at home, or possible arm, but you'll eventually get there. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, with that, we're going to put a close to tonight's episode. So thanks to Mike, who's been in the chat tonight. Good to see him. You and those that are listening, we appreciate Dave for coming on and educating us and stealing money out of our wallets for some really cool stuff. And with that, let's continue the conversation over in our Live Free and Ham podcast community Discord. We have a bunch of people already over there, and so we just want to keep this conversation going. So if you're maybe getting into if you're getting into Mestastic, or you've been in Mestastic for a little while, we want to hear what's going on. Share your experiences. If you've got a T1000, E1000E, whatever. Yeah, you get it. T1000.
T1000.
I'm thinking, let us know
Terminator.
how you like it, what we can do, and how we can continue to maybe expand our little Mestastic world here in the Northeast. So, outside of that, as always, you can always head over to our Discord server, like I just mentioned before. The join link is in our description below. Come be part of the conversation. Check out our YouTube channel, catch all the excellent content, and as always, hopefully you'll be on the live stream this past Wednesday. It's coming up. And leave us a review or use one of our SMS links to give us an update. Let us know what's going on. If you got a question, maybe something in this episode sparked a question for you. feel free to send it to us, and we'll make sure we circle back in our next show and address it. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 978-233-1142. And you can always support the show because we love all of the folks that do support Live Free and Ham, and it keeps us running. You can join our Patreon or buy us a beer links, and those are all at the bottom of our descriptions of every episode and on our website. And finally, you can always head over to livefreeandham.com and learn about the show, check out the latest swag, pick up all of these discount codes for all this awesome stuff from Seed Studios. And as always, from all of us here, thanks again for listening to Live Free and Ham, and 7-3, guys.
7-3.
73.
77.